All right, let's get started. So today we're going to do a little code challenge that I ran across today. I don't even remember where I ran across it, but I thought it'd be a fun one. And it's shouldn't take too long, so maybe we'll go over some other ways you could do it depending on what's available to you in the language you choose. Right. So the challenge is given a string, reorder it so that all capital letters are at the front of the string. Give me 1 second. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, had a little puppy emergency last night. And I heard them whining and didn't want to repeat it tonight. So I had to go let them out real quick. All right, so let's get started here. We're going to do function, we'll just call it like reorder. Just be really explicit about it. All right, and down here we'll call it, okay, do not like Replit autocomplete. Okay, console log, and we will just call it reorder capital letters, and we'll do something simple. We'll just do A, and those should just pretty much be flipped. We'll put say here. And so there's a few ways to go about this. Obviously, I think the easiest thing to start with will be we'll chars equals split. So get it into an array. So if we want to do a traditional for loop, we don't have to do that. But you know, it just doesn't hurt to do it this way. It's easy to rearrange arrays a lot of times. So now we should just be able to do chars dot each. Though actually, now that I think about it, yes, let's see what happens. Chars dot for each, and just say letter. All right, over each one, and JavaScript, I think, has some sort of function to check whether a letter or a string is like uppercase or not, but not all languages do. So the way to get around that is most languages do have a way to uppercase or lowercase them. And so we'll just do like an if letter dot to uppercase, I believe, equals letter. So if it doesn't change, then we need to move it to the front. To the front. And else move, or just break. But we don't actually do that, so we'll just let it continue, do nothing. So we'll actually need to move it to the front and remove it from current index. So that's important. I'm going to try to go a really simple route first, and we'll just say chars 0 equals letter. That should move to the front. what we want to also do though is remove it from where it currently is. And probably slice is the easiest way to do that. So we do chars dot slice. I think it would just be, we'd have to do start at this. Ooh. We would need to do that previously though. I think it's going to be better to do a traditional for loop, but let's finish it this way and then we can change it. Chars dot slice chars dot index of, and then letter 0, I think. That's how that'll go. And then move it over to the front. So we could try that one and just see what happens right there, just like that. Oh, and then we'll do return chars dot join. Oops. Don't know what happened there. Join. There we go. Let's run that. See. Oh, interesting. I'm thinking I used slice wrong. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, not what I'm. Maybe it was splice that I was wanting. No, splice insert. That's what I was thought. Splice insert, slice takes out. But it takes it out and returns a different array, but it doesn't affect the original one. I've never seen this one. This looks fun. Oh, interesting. So we could maybe use that to spliced. That's a fun one. Let's see what that does. No, it does the exact same thing, it appears. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to need to do a traditional for loop to make this work, because we're going to have to play with the indexes a little bit. Yeah. Let's do a quick Google move. Okay, so splice should do it. Just index and then 1. Oh, maybe that was the problem with 2 spliced, because I didn't put the correct delete count here. There we go. Still doesn't work. Let's try just normal splice. I think that the problem is it's not, well, that worked, except I didn't keep the other A. So splice will remove it, but it looks like what it's doing is oh dear, that's why. Got it in the wrong place. So with the index and then go 1 or 0. Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, so it looks like we're just the wrong way there. This is more complicated than I thought. Okay. Just need a good way to remove it from the array. So another way we could do it is as we go through, if it's lowercase, we could shift it down. But then we have to keep shifting. I like the idea of just moving it to the front, but then we need to take it out. Insists this is the way to do it. Splice. And then go 1 down, but that does not seem to be doing the trick. Oh, I see why. Yeah, it's because once we splice it out, there's only one letter left, which is A. Then we set 0 to that. Okay, so instead of doing this, we will do chars.unshift letter. That should just pop it out of the beginning of the array. There we go. Okay. I see. Just a bad way of assigning it. Unshift works better. Instead of reassigning the index, we just move everything down. All right, cool. So that works from what we can tell. Let's do a couple other test cases. So, and this is a nice one. It's very easy to come up with different test cases. Literally just hit different keys. Just A, B, C, E, E, F. See what happens there. Yep, nicely done. There was nothing in the challenge about maintaining the order or anything like that, so that makes it easy. What happens if they're all lowercase. So that works. I'm thinking like instead of iterating in that scenario, I would probably just do a if str.to uppercase equals str or str.to lowercase equals str. So if it's already all lowercase or all uppercase, return str. This won't change what prints out here. The same thing happens, but it's faster because in this case, we don't need to iterate at that point. So we'll just move on. So we can also test that with but obviously you won't be able to tell the difference. It'll work either way. This is just a faster way to do it because instead of iterating. Speaking of faster, this index of is technically a loop in a loop. We've got a for each, and then we're trying to find the index of that letter. So back to, it would be better to do a traditional for loop in this case because then we have the index we're on already. So we don't need to go messing with trying to figure out what the index is. So we'll do for I equals 0. I is less than chars length I plus plus. All right. And then kind of the same thing, except it'll be if chars, though, because we'll try it this way. I'm worried that because we're sitting here messing with where things are located, I will start pointing to something different. Whereas in this case, we're just finding the index of the thing and then we're like popping it onto the front. But I think at this point, the index won't have changed. Yeah, it might be fine. The other option, if that did mess up, would be you can use the index to navigate just the string itself and it would work the same way. The only problem would be you can't use unshift. So you have to find a better way to do it. But I think this will be fine just with the regular splice and unshift. So same thing, if letter dot to uppercase equals, and then it'll just be chars. Oh, sorry, not letter anymore. Chars I equals chars I. Then chars dot splice. And then it would just be I one. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. So now we don't have access to just letter. I think let's just store it in a variable then. So what would happen is like we couldn't have unshifted chars I because now chars I would be different once it was spliced out. So basically what I would say in the case of this one, we get here, we don't do anything, we get here, chars I is A, we, splice it out, and then we need to do chars dot unshift what? It would have to be chars I, but now chars I being 1, that doesn't actually exist, so you get an index out of bounds exception and everything. So it's better just we'll store it here, splice it out, and then use our stored variable, and hopefully just do the same thing, chars dot unshift letter. And hopefully that works the same way. So now we aren't using index of, which is a loop in a loop. Yep, everything works fine. So that's a faster alternative. So if the string was really, really big, this would be the better choice. A lot of times we want to use the fancy for each, like the different methods that'll loop over. But a lot of times, because now you have access to index this way, like you know what index you're at, so you don't have to go finding the index of the element you're on. For each might give you an index option. Let's find out. Each script. Let's go see how this works. Not sure you can use a callback and you have an argument. Oh, yes. So I'm going to call the following element index. Oh, okay. So we could do something fun with that then. Let's put that back actually. So we could have actually done index. And then right here, you've got access, letters already stored in a variable there. So if you just wanted to be cool and do the for each loop, just the fun little thing there, then you know you could. They both work. Let's actually put that back just so we can see it. But yeah, they both work. This is perfectly viable, and it's a good thing to look at because loops like this are available in all languages. But in JavaScript, this is nice. Ruby has an each with index you could use. So yeah, but the whole point is if you have access to the index, then you don't have to go finding the index of the letter itself. Let's make sure that runs actually. Yeah, looks good. I like it. Cool. I like doing it. The reason I like this is just a little bit of like a small, tiny preference. Is I don't have to do this. No unnecessary assignment. Doesn't cut down on space complexity at all, but it's still not, not an unnecessary assignment. One less line of code. I actually think we could chain that. Yeah, we can. So splice will return an array of just A. Once we splice out the capital A, it'll return an array of just A, and then we can unshift that back onto it. So you're basically just flipping it. So that's really nice, actually. I hadn't thought about that. Oh, wait, no. It's messed up. It didn't do it right on the second one. We lost all our capital letters that way. Yeah, it would only work. Oh no, we lost it on the first one too. Okay, well that's not okay. So it's not unshifting it correctly at that point. All right, so never mind. Ignore that. I really thought we might be able to do that. Or was that slice that'll give you the other array back? Yeah, slice gives you the other array back. But I think slice also, if I were to do it, yeah, it takes out. So if I go 2, 1, 2, and I slice, to 4, 0, 1, 2. They did that. It's uninclusive. It just gives you what's in between. So that wouldn't work for our purposes. Yeah, it wouldn't work for our purposes. So yeah, I think we're good as is. Just try to be fancy and see if I could chain it all in one line. Just talking about getting it smaller, but this perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with this. Nice. Pretty sure splice still does a loop, technically. just don't think you're going to get away from that, though. If there's any other way you're gonna move that out. I'm fairly certain, maybe I'll look into it, there's an algorithm where you basically, as you go through, you start shifting them down. And then, but I'm not sure the complexity would be much better, because so you'd have to start here, move to this one, shift it, you know, or if you get to the lowercase one, you shift it down one. You have to like reset, you have to like swap them, and they keep going down and swapping and swapping and swapping. And I would think you would have to keep going back through and doing that until they were all in the front. Yeah, this seems simpler. If you got a really picky interviewer was like, no, like you didn't do like the absolutely most optimized, there's a balance here where it's like, yes, this might technically, it doesn't loop through all the way, I know, because it starts at an index, so it picks an index and then it goes one. So in this case, yeah, it's not really O of n squared, it's like one extra little like single movement. But if you have an interviewer that picky, probably not gonna, like, they're probably not looking, at least for someone like me, because to me it's better, this is much more readable than what the alternative would be to try to like avoid that one extra movement. You'd have to do a lot of crazy things to avoid that, I would think. So, but who knows? I'm not an algorithm guru, but I think this is a perfectly reasonable thing for an interview. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat. But I like this. I like both of these, both perfectly viable. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I'll be back here next week, Tuesday at 9 a.m. and at 9 p.m. It's every Tuesday and Thursday. So drop by for more code challenges. There's a link to the Discord in bio. Feel free to, go join up, and I've got tutoring sessions on there. The first one's free if you want any of that, and then also you can shoot me a DM there, and with any suggestions for other code challenges to do, try to keep them decently small so I can do them in 30 to 40 minutes, just because we want people to see the full solution. Maybe in the future I'll do longer ones where they span multiple sessions, but probably I like being able to finish it in one go so that nobody misses anything. But yeah, thanks for dropping by and listening. Yeah, see you next time.